All right, what's up, Insane Can Posse? I'm Tim, here with my main man, Sammy Boy, and we're going to show you how we clean these drums. We get a lot of questions on Facebook and email and everything. You know, how do you clean the drum? It's pretty simple, but we do this every single week before the competitions. If you're cooking at home, I would recommend doing it every 4 or 5 cooks, you know, to keep it fresh. It's very important to keep your smoker clean. Makes it burn nice and clean. You start getting some grease or leftover grease built up on the bottom, it's going to taste terrible if it lights on fire, and it'll put off an off smoke onto your food. You'll be unhappy with it. So here we go. First thing we do, take the lids off. I like to just hang them up. I don't really like setting them on the ground. The grate, just lay it out on concrete or whatever. Take your fire basket out. If you had charcoal in here, you just dump it out into a pan. And then we take the liner out. Just squeeze it together. You can get right past this thermometer a little bit. It's got a little bit of flex, so that's no big deal. And then I'll take the scraper tool, and we'll scrape the bottom. Around the edges, real good, just to get everything loosened up. And then you can just dump it out into a pan or the trash can, whatever, if it's cooled off. Get a little tap, taparoo. All right, so you've got the majority of your chunks and everything out. Next thing we're gonna do is take the cleaner. We get a lot of questions about what cleaner we use. This right here is from Sam's Club. It's Members Mark. It's oven, grill, and fryer cleaner. It's, you know, obviously food safe and everything. I think it's called a caustic cleaner if you look it up somewhere else. We've also used Zep. The problem with the Zep, you got to buy it in a large quantity of a concentrate, I think. So this stuff you can just buy and it's ready to use. You just spray it on the sides. It goes to work pretty fast. You do want to wear gloves when you do it though, because it will burn you a little bit. All right, make sure you get on the bottom. And really just give it a couple minutes after that. You definitely don't want to get this on your paint. Not recommended for the paint at all. Make sure you get those corners, everything down there really good. You can hit your gray. Top of your lid if you need to, if it starts to get gunked up real bad. Okay. And you recommend just to let it sit on there for about, what do you think, 15 minutes, Sammy, usually?
Yeah, about 15.
Give it a good 15. If you got more than one drum, just go ahead and do them all. And then once this stuff starts working, you can do your fire basket if it's dirty. You can even do your liner if it's too bad. Ours really aren't too bad because we do them every week. So we'll let that sit for a couple seconds and then crank the hose up there, Sammy. Once it sits, we're rushing it a little bit. But you can see just a regular hose. You really don't even need a power washer for this. You can see how it just takes it right off, straight back down to bare metal. I'm not even putting any pressure on it, so, you know, use a power washer. Michelle's getting a free shower. Hit the bottom. Get your grate. You want to give your grate a scrape. Now's the time to do it. I'm not as worried about the lid. It's not too bad. Put the hose down there, Sammy. And we just dump it out. Right there. Probably don't want to do that if you have it on your patio. Give it one more rinse and you're ready to roll. board, we're good.
How often should you do this?
I do it basically before every competition. We have a double header. Obviously, we've got to just scrape it out and put fresh oil dry. I'll show you that here in a second. If you're at home cooking, if you use your cooker once a week, I would say do it every 4 or 5 cooks, depending on what you're cooking. Obviously, like if you're doing a bunch of pork, where you get a bunch of extra grease, or a big brisket, and you really start dripping, it's gonna build up down there in a hurry. If you don't want to clean it out if you don't want to hose it out every time, just take your scraper, scrape the extra grease off the bottom of it, and then just add some oil dry or whatever. You can go again. You can stretch your cleaning time out another couple of weeks if you do that, if you're not using it that often at home. So, but for competition use, let's have it out one more time. We're working on all the details, so we want to make sure it's 100% right every time. So we're as consistent as we can possibly be. Try that out a little bit, Sam boy.
What was the name of that again?
This stuff? It's a Members Mark oven grill cleaner and fryer cleaner. You get it at Sam's Club. Comes in a 3-pack, just like this. It's backed by the paper towels, aluminum pans, stuff like that, I think. So since we're gonna load up today, heading over to Effingham, Illinois for a little contest. Go ahead and let it dry. You can let it air out, or towel dry it if you're going to rush like we are today. But after that, I'll take the oil dry. I just put about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch down in the bottom of it. Make sure you're using unscented. As you can see, this stuff I picked up at O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's even recommended for barbecue grills and everything, I believe. So, yeah, you can get it in a little bag like this if you don't use as much. It even says put it in your barbecue. It soaks up the grease, is what it does. So, by putting oil dry in here, it'll help soak up your grease drippings, so that'll keep them from, when they hit the metal, keep them from burning and smelling bad. It'll also absorb the grease, so it's less likely to catch on fire. So you don't have a grease fire when you open your lid. It helps a lot. Like I said, so if you're doing a double header contest, or if you're cooking back to back at home and you don't have time to clean it out, you can just scoop some of that out or dump it out, add a fresh batch, and it'll keep the bottom very dry and makes it super easy to clean. After that, we'll load it back up, put your liner in. Easier if you take the thermometer out, to be honest, but Sam will put the charcoal in there. Go ahead and get it loaded up. The next exam. So I'm ready to roll now. I'm ready to cook. Grease back in. Probably ought to dry that off. Yep. But so on the outside, what I would do on the outside, give me that other cleaner there, Sammy. Get her. We've got it rinsed off. Just use like a quick detailer. Just spray it down and wipe it off with. It's kind of like a quick wax or whatever, and that'll help if you do spill some grease or some oil on it. That'll help it wipe off and clean up easier. It'll also help protect your paint, make it last longer, especially if you leave it outside or whatever.
Do you have to season it after every cleaning?
I personally don't, because I'm going to cook on it, tomorrow. But if you're going to let it sit, like in your garage or outside or anything, I would definitely spray it down with pan spray, just so that bare metal doesn't rust. So you really don't even have to light it. Just spray it down and let it sit like that. That way the metal on the inside has a protective coating on it, so it doesn't rust out on you.
Does the oil dry burn?
No. The oil dry is basically like a clay material. It's a natural material that will just basically absorbs the grease. Now the grease might, could catch on fire that it absorbs, but it's definitely less likely to catch on fire than it is if it just drops on the bare metal and cools up.
All right.
That's all she wrote right there. Any questions? reply on the comments or send us an email or don't ask me. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time.